Welcome to Warblog. This is part 2 of my second, or really my third go at the Syriat Hill scenario. Syriat Hill is under here, but there's also these objectives. Not going to talk too much about what's happened, but basically I'm playing a slightly different strategy, which is a fairly defensive heavy strategy for the Syrians, so I'm trying to keep everything stacked up. As you can see, there's stacks. These are a bit empty, but I've managed to stack that one up. This one's still on his own, but I'm trying to create just a static line here, which was ordinarily quite a heavy battle zone, and pushing forward with my main forces, as you can see, consolidating this to sort of just drive through here and really just sort of expand on all the open ground, you know, just sort of trying to cause as much damage as I can using sort of, you know, mobile warfare to its fullest. I mean, they've got mobile warfare, but, you know, as opposed to sort of just dogging it down into this little section here, and as we have been, this is still quite a delicate situation over here and here, but this battle group essentially is trying to sort of break its way through here and here, so they only have to survive a couple more turns before I've got the full force of, you know, this coming to bear on that. Now the Hayat Tahrir al-Sham I think will go next, but if they survive I think I'm going to pull them back a bit like that. Maybe these ones won't fall back much, but they might, on the sort of interim that these will then be able to form a solid line there. But you know, so far it's been quite good for the Syrians, and I am playing from the Syrian perspective in this situation, because last time, although they sort of, I think, won, I think it was fairly sort of tentative going, whereas I think, you know, if you play the Syrians properly, they can't lose. There is just so much of this Hayat Tahrir al-Sham that it's quite difficult. So it's still quite a challenging game. So that's the sort of just a preamble done. It's the Hayat Tahrir al-Sham turn. So they've really got to, the first thing they really need to identify are weak elements. So these are weak, so we can maybe try and beat up on those. There's a guy on his own there. There's a guy on his own there. They obviously want to have another crack at this and another crack at this if they can. Now he's on his own, so that might be doable. But to bear in mind that they have been taking a pounding. I mean, he's at 5 depressions. He's at 6. And there's air defense. He's at 4. You know, they've been beaten back. If you see the last video, you'll see they were completely surrounded, and they just basically, like Superman, knocked them off. Same here. I mean, this was completely Hayat Tahrir al-Sham filled, and they just blew everyone away. Look, they're all being retreated. Depressions 1, depressions 2.15, depressions 3, depressions 5, depressions 2, 3. You know, they're taking a pounding, and I think that's the way for the Syrians to play it. So here we've really got to try and make this turn for Hayat Tahrir al-Sham count in some way, which will require a little bit of thinking, I think, which I'm not really in the mood for doing. Not so much that I'm not in the mood for doing it, but I want to play quickly, and I don't want to sit here just trying to figure it out. But we've got to do this, so maybe we can start with that. Remember, these are all ISIS units. I did manage to push them back to open up this route through here. Obviously, we might want to sort of try and take these units out. This is basically a lot of artillery infantry, so we might be able to do something down there. But what I want to avoid is losing badly anywhere. So, and that's quite difficult, I think. We could probably start by attacking some of these units. Now he's fresh. He's fresh. He's on depression 6, which means he's only really on a factor of 2. So we could start off maybe by He's on depressions 8, you see, that's the problem. He's on depressions 4, so they've already been hit. He's on depressions 1. So, I mean, this is a doubled up stack, but these are quite weak. In fact, all of these are quite weak, but we can't really get there too readily. Obviously, he's sort of vulnerable, but if we can maybe try to eliminate him, that might be a start. Now the question is, so I'm not sure whether we can get there. Let's give it a go. So 1.2, so we should be able to get there. And we should have enough to attack. This is hope. Because I'm hoping to eliminate him with a rout. That's perfect. So minimum effort, and we got rid of a Syrian unit. That's what Hayat Tahrir wants to be doing. They want to be focusing on anything that's on its own and destroying it. Now they're both fresh, but so we can concentrate maybe on destroying that. So I'm a bit loath to do anything with him. Well, there are only 3 units here, so let's just... We're not going to be able to do any more following up on that. So we push them back into there. 2 depressions. I just don't think we can get the numbers against that, because we could move him in. I mean, he's worth nothing. But we could get a surround. But no, it's just not going to work. But here, it would be nice to attack that. But most of those are actually motorized units, which means they won't be able to pass through zones of control. And we've got rockets here, we've got to protect those. I mean, they're going to be worth 8. So I mean, that's an invulnerable stack, that's the thing. I think we might have to really concede the fact that we're going to have to draw a front line along here. I mean, I sort of pointed this out in the previous game, but this is a scary force. It being there, it's quite scary, and so we're going to have to sort of consider this has got to be somehow a front line. Now we can maybe push it like that. We can maybe push it like that, but what have we got to do with these units? We can push that unit back. It's a shame we can't get in there and monopolize on these, these units as they are. But I think what I might have to do it is just purely a defensive game. So you've got to be careful about his zones of control. He won't be able to retreat there, there, there. So I'll have to move like there, attack from there, which means he'll be able to retreat to there. Can I push him back? 1, 2, 3. That might be worth doing. He's pushing 6, you see. I think I'm going to do this. Let's do him with the rockets first. I don't want to waste my rockets on something that I can attack. This is a close attack. Oh, it's not what I wanted to do. And then I was going to move these in like this. Well, got the DR eventually. Which is okay because it pushes him into their zone of control. So we can at least attack him from there. Let's put the air defense in anyway. Exchange. Okay. Well, that's not terrible because that 4-1 and an exchange was really bad luck. The DR, I mean, they're really faring well. I should be on the 6 now. Let's fire the rockets into there. .1 against this unit. It's 1.2, 1. I can't do much, but I can do an attrition. Nothing. 1 to 2 odds. So I can't do much there. I'm sort of stuck really everywhere else. I want him to recover. Here. Now here I could again try and destroy that unit. So if I commit these 2 units to doing that, D, that's a good result. That's a 4-1. That was what we wanted on that other unit. So he's now at 5. Another D, so he'll be on 8 now. We can't move anywhere and he's in the hills. Well, that's a reasonable end result for that, but here, .7 and .2, nothing, and 1. So maybe putting some rockets on there. Let's see what the rockets do. Well, with results like that, it's not looking good. We can reinforce that unit. See, if they didn't have those infantry in there, they'd be really vulnerable. I think I'm going to come back to that because we've got this stack over here, but can we bring it down this way, or do we want to really start pounding on this and this? This is now looking a little more useful to sort of get to grips with now. So we really need to use him to get in there. We just got to go for this surround. Well, that's the surround. What else have we got? Units. Okay. It's not ideal doing it like this, but it's got no depressions. Let's just use everything. Okay, that's what we needed. So, we need a DR. DE would be fine, but I don't think we're going to get that. I'm not sure, I can't even imagine what we're going to be on, but it might be a 1-to-1. It might even be a 1-to-2, it might be a 2-to-1. It's going to be around there. 1-to-1 and a DR, you see. 1-to-1 doesn't mean it's a 50% chance of it winning. 1-to-1 means you've got about a 30% chance of winning. And we got the 3, and so they've won. So that strategy, trying to hold out there for the cavalry, failed. So, you know, the Hayat Tahrir side are probably quite happy with that. And they're going to try the same thing here. This is going to be tougher. And let's start off with some rockets on this unit here. Just to set the scene. Oh, yeah, so rockets there are no good, rockets here are no good. But we've got all of this. So that's the surround. Right. Well, obviously we want to attack this one first. Okay, so the 12. Okay, so they get. Okay, right. This is going to be really difficult. It's going to be like a 1 to 2 or something, but we'll probably get an AR. In fact, it's stupid. Look, there's only 1, 2, 3, 4 units. He's basically fresh. 3. Yeah, I mean, it's just not worth it. I guess what we can do is an attrition. See, this is the difficulty of it all. So 1 to 4 that would have been. So, but we can bring all of this stuff over. But here, what to do? Again, there's not much that can be done. I'm just going to leave everything to recover. He's going to try and recover. We sort of failed over here. We tried an attrition there. Not much that can be done here against that. Let's try an attrition. Just to see what the odds are. I think they should be 1 to 1. 1 to 2. I should have said 1 to 2. Obviously it's a 1 to 2. Because they're 3, but they're doubled in the hills, so we'll be a 5 against 6. Obviously it's going to be 1 to 2. You see, we could move into there and attack that. Right, so that's the end of the Hayat Tahrir al-Sham turn. So they had one success and a few mediocre results sort of over here, especially with their rockets, but they had that success. That was marginal. I mean, that was a 1-to-1 attack. They got the 3, so you know there wasn't sort of as though they just blew it out of the water, but they got some reinforcements up there. So I think the Syrians really got the upper hand here. Now, obviously, it's not as brilliant as it could be over here. Come back to that. Right, so here is their Alamo, and they're going to probably win again. 0, 2, 7. So let's attack this one first with some motorized. Yep, so we've routed him. Okay. Probably do 2 units against that. Oh, an exchange, that was bad. See, the exchange just puts an end to anything else that they could be doing. 5-1. See, here's the crux. Do I use my remaining movement to get out to take that space there? Because that will give me a place to retreat if they try to surround me. I mean, they'll have to push that out, which they're going to have some trouble with. So that was a bad result. I could have hoped for a lot more there. Here, again, we really want to be sort of destroying units. I mean, already, he's at 4. We could probably just use this infantry unit to at least push him back. That's a DE. So do this. Knock him back. Well, I'm quite desperate to not have him hanging around behind enemy lines. So we've gotten rid of him, but we're sort of stuck out here now. Well, let's see what we can do with the rockets and the artillery on this. Not quite what I was hoping for. Because we're probably going to have to now engage. DR. 5 and 4. We're falling back, but not because we're retreating, because we're chasing units in the wrong direction. At least they split up into different directions. We might be able to get this one. Nope. So we've sort of fallen back, but we're still strong. Here, sort of want to protect him. I want to deal with these units. I'm a little weak over here. So we could try and destroy him. If we don't, these units will come after that, so... Well, let's see what we can do with the artillery and rockets into this stack. Nothing. Okay. Okay, that's better. Something. Okay. So they're now 3.6, 4 point whatever. What are they in? Hills and town. Let's do the air power on it, because I feel like capturing this place. But without exerting myself with sort of clever movements. 4.8, 4.5. So they're now the equivalent of 1 unit. So we should be able to push them out. An exchange. That wasn't good. That was bad. Because I want to be preserving these forces and just knocking their depressions up. This is a very mediocre Syrian turn, really. Now we've got our powerhouse in play over here now. So in the first instance, we probably want to destroy this unit if we can. So let's consolidate our leverage. We should be able to do this. Yep, and at least push him in the right direction, i.e. away. 4 and nothing, so we can do this for a start. And this should push him in the right direction as well. We should win this. It should be a 7-1, 6-1, DR with 12. Okay, but we want to attack that. That would only be a 4-1. Do we want to do that on our own? Yeah, let's give it a 4-1. And DR, yep, okay, so better than nothing. So we push them back. Unfortunately, we really need to stack that up. We need to stack that up as well. So we're going to have to do it like this. And all of a sudden we feel a lot weaker on the ground. Okay, well he's a 2, so let's do 1 against that. Just to push him back, hopefully. DR, keep getting these bad dice rolls. And here, 2, 4, 6, 8. Could that really be just a 1-1 or a 2-1? The armoured. It's going to be a 2-1, so it's going to be really tight, but I feel like I need to push. Oh! 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 Yeah, that was not good. See, that's how the Syrians are going to lose, by doing stupid attacks like that, and that's their move done now. All of a sudden I feel like my strategy is not working. So the HTS player, grinning inanely at the situation. That was just, how can I don't know, I just, sometimes I have to think I'm not a very good player. You sort of just take the chances. It's easier to sort of take the chance because you feel like if you're not going to take the chance, you're not playing or something like that. Anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's get him sort of down the road. So the order of the day is damage. Right, so that's a stack. That's a stack. Well, these are two on their own, and they are worth really going for. Depression 0, depression 9 on him. He should be on depression. He's a 3. He's a 3. Wow. What are these on? Okay, that's an infantry unit. Oh, it's really tight because I want to break that unit, surround that. We're going to leave him to move into that gap if we can win. And just to try and make sure it happens, I'm going to put the rockets there. I wanted to use them on the other location, but 0.5 is better than nothing, I guess. The odds aren't that great, but let's see what we can do. This might only be a 2 to 1, if that. I'm hoping it'll be more. 6, oh, eliminated. That was lucky. So my plan is now to move this into there, and now to attack this. And all we need here is the DR. So because of that stupid attack, we're losing armor, and the armor is actually really useful. You can notice the difference because of the multipliers in this type of situation. And this, I'm fairly certain we'll lose that armored unit. Yep. Not only that, we now got almost carte blanche. I mean, how many of these units do we need on that? He's worth 0.3. Let's just I'm feeling bullshit. I'm just going to try and use one motorised unit. Routed. And we got a 12 on a 6-1. You see, look, this is what the armoured should be like. Stacked up like that, invincible. They're going to be a problem. These were a problem, but they've just been destroyed. We destroyed 3 units. Well, probably won't destroy this unit, but we should at the very least be able to get a DR and hopefully a DE. And maybe even chase it. A DE, yeah, that's nice. So we've now pushed it into essentially out of the frying pan into the fire. So we get another crack at it. It's like pinball. Eliminated. Wow, that was bad. Well, we can maybe do the same with that unit. Yep, eliminated that unit. Leaves us vulnerable, but ties the units up. We'll leave him to recover. Now down here, or here, see, the thing is, he could retreat either there, there, or at worst, there. This will dictate how the battle will go. We'll either go one of 2 ways. If he retreats into that stack, it's just going to be tougher. And he has. So that was a DR. So let's see what the rockets do onto a stack of 3, which is a perfect stack to be rocketing into. No, that's not how you do it. This is how you do it. There's the rockets. 1.4, 0.3, 1.2. That was a good blow. 3.4, 4, 2.8. Okay, that's looking promising. Filling that gap. Okay, well, we can't get any more around it. This is it. Well, I don't even want to start thinking of the numbers, but it might be a 1-to-1. So this could be an AR, but we want to get that DR, but it could be a 2-to-1. You sort of get into this mindset of stopping breathing. You've got to remember to start breathing after the numbers have come in. Or 1-to-1 and an exchange. That's like a historic account. You know, that could have gone like this. You can see they've got their surround. The irony is, why was he not in there? Oh, don't tell me I didn't put him in. Wow. It wouldn't have made any difference. I was just so close. But it means that we could possibly get another attack, but I don't think so. But the head of this armoured column, or this military column, is going to receive a special welcome. In the form of a full frontal assault. It should be a 7-1. Yep, so they're being introduced to the concept of retreating before they've even arrived at the battlefield. But they don't have any more movement in them. And they're not going to be able to get through that gap. Okay. This is interesting. And down here, what do we do? Well, these units really just want to run away, don't they? Maybe they can hold out in this town. And that's it. Well, moving swiftly on to the Syrian turn. The Syrians have been given a pummeling, but here now are the reinforcements. See, they don't even have a battle group over here anymore. That mistake, that one mistake. Here they're looking weak. They've got to punch their way out of here. That's going to be an adventure in its own right. Here. I mean, this is archetypal defense. Look, there's just 3 hexes versus these hexes here. That's an ISIS unit. It's almost an impasse, as it should be. Here we got the faint outline of a line. You know, it all makes sense when you look at it. But it's also delicate. I think over here we've got to make a start here. I mean, what can we do? That's a certainty almost. So I think firstly we want to do as much damage as we can. But we want to link these things up, so we want to end up with these units of, well, he can only really go one hex, so he's going to have to choose that hex. And that's him over. We really want to somehow get this unit into there, possibly two, so we want to draw a line along there if we can. So in the first instance, let's see whether we can punch these guys back. D, yes. Right, so that opens that up. It's going to be difficult. We need to punch these units back. And I'm going to use all of them because I want to make that happen. And 3 to 1 was not a sure thing. But it's perfect, they've gone there. I thought they might have gone there, but they've actually gone there. That's brilliant, because now I can move there. And that gives me the ability to prevent them surrounding things. Do we want to leave him there? Or... no. But he can't move. So that is about as good as it's going to get. Now, these are hills, so these are not. So we're going to attack that. Right. So that's a 2, and that's a 2. But there's a slightly more depressed unit in there. So there's 3 units there, 3 units in there. I feel like attacking them, but they're worth 3, but they're not in hills. So let's put some air power on this. There's a lot of air defense around, so bear that in mind. Hit it a little bit. Okay. Hopefully we should be able to push them back. And the enemies, all we want to do is to damage them, really. Yes. And I think we might attack that stack, because we can get him in there as well. No. You know what? I'm going to bear in mind that disaster over there, and I'm not going to push that. That's a reasonably defendable line. We're going to get pummeled, but I think they're going to struggle to do that. Here, let's just use the rockets and the artillery. Where's the infantry unit in there? Oh, I know. Of course it's... Right, so... I'm a bit distracted now because I realise there's only 5 minutes left. I'm not going to get the rest of this done. You know, we've got so much more to do over here. Do we want to go for that? Or do we want to put... everything into there? Oh, an exchange. I'm going to leave it at that. I mean, obviously I'm going to do another video. Let's knock these guys out. Yeah, definitely going to leave the rest of this to another video, but tempted to sort of continue to try and attack that. Yeah, so I'll leave the rest to the next video, and I'll speak to you soon. Cheerio.